Hi everyone, and welcome to another reading. In today's reading, we're looking at your ego versus your higher self and how to identify your thought patterns and where they originate. So basically, my intention is to help those of you who might lack clarity or perspective. Perhaps there is a dichotomy in your thinking. On the one hand, one voice is telling you one thing, but then another voice inside your head is telling you a completely opposite thing. You're not sure what the perspective is and where exactly these thoughts are coming from. Do they come from your soul, from your intuition, from your higher self, or do they come from your ego and your intellect, basically? So my intention is to really help you identify which voice is guiding you towards your best life and which voice is actually dominated by fear and by your old thinking patterns. So yeah, for this reading, I prepared 3 different oracle cards and we will be shuffling the rest of the cards on camera. So let's go through the piles. For pile number 1, we have moonbeams with focus. For pile number 2, we have moon magic with transformation. For pile number 3, we have domicile moon abundance. So please make your pile selection based on your intuition and I will see you in your reading. Bye! Hi everyone, if you selected pile number 1 or moonbeams with focus, this is going to be your reading. So with this focus card, clearly you're walking towards your paradise in the desert. Perhaps your journey has been very, very long and very difficult. Full of challenges, full of, having to prove yourself in one way or another. Void moon, do nothing. Interesting. With focus and do nothing, there's definitely a theme of your consciousness and your manifestation being more important than your active action right now. We have Mercury in Virgo with caution. And we have Venus in Sagittarius with flirtation. And we have numbers 6 and 9. Let's reveal the rest of your oracle cards. We have Student of Air. This is actually a tarot card, but I'm using them as oracle cards because honestly, they're so confusing to use as tarot. So Student of Air, and we have Scout of Earth. This is what the card looks like. All right, pile number 1, let's see. Pile number 1, your ego's voice. Can we take a look at your ego's voice? Page of Cups. The Magician. Seven of Swords. What does pile number 1 need to hear about their ego? We have 8 of Pentacles. The Hanged One. And we have King of Pentacles. All right, pile number 1. What do we have here? So right away, let's start with this Virgo or Mercury in Virgo card, right? Caution. We have this duality, a split to your nature between your higher self and your ego. It seems to me that when you act out of the place of your higher self, you're a very put together individual, someone who really is connected to their power because they have a crown here, and perhaps in your ego or your intellect there's still a little bit of chaotic energy here with all these deers are just running around. Perhaps there is a certain lack of you monitoring your thoughts. Maybe there is a tendency to think too much, you're an overthinker, overthinker and you're an overworker as well because of the Virgo quality here. Now, let me tell you what I'm seeing here. With student of air and scout of earth being here, we didn't get any of the cups or fire cards with this, right? And this really tells me that in your past, you have operated from your masculine energy, because we have air and earth, both are masculine energies, right? What does this mean? Mercury and Virgo tells me more. You have really learned how to operate within the physical realm. You've learned how to be hardworking. You're likely a perfectionist, someone who can really, set a goal and go for it and achieve it. I mean, Beyonce is a Virgo, okay? You guys are the best at really fulfilling, achieving, going for it. And the Magician here really signifies that you are consciously, even in your ego, even in your intellect, you are aware of your power to manifest whatever it is you wish to manifest. You are aware of yourself as a powerful person who can truly go after something and get what they want. Now let's look at your tarot cards here. The first row of cards here represents your ego, and the bottom row represents your higher self. So let's look at the difference between the two. Your ego, pile number 1, is really in touch with its power as the Magician. So you are really in touch with your personal power, because the Magician is someone who has all of the adequate resources, the character and skill to fulfill their goal, right? However, we have the Seven of Swords here. You looking back at the past, sneaky energy, some sort of a shadow still lingering there. And we have Page of Cups here. And these two cards really tell me a story together. It seems to me that pile number 1, you are emotionally dysregulated. There is something about you where you have dominated the masculine realm of, intellect and ambition and work. However, you really have not credited your feminine side at all, and your feminine side is nurture, emotional well-being, compassion, right? It seems to me, because this is a page card, it's a very young energy. You are just now in the process of stepping into a new cycle within your intellect, and that cycle intellectually you'll recognize as a cycle of honoring your emotions. Finally, you're even intellectually recognizing that there is a place to balance out the feminine. You're no longer moving into just hard work and achievement and fulfillment based on your skill. You're truly entering a world where there is a balance to your work and there is a balance to you just waiting there and manifesting. And this is what we see in the bottom row of cards. So your higher self, pile number 1, is presented as Eight of Pentacles, the Hanged One, and King of Pentacles. And let me tell you what that means. Your higher self right now is guiding you towards some sort of a skill, some sort of a project, some sort of work. You're gonna have to put in some work. Your higher self is asking you to really be guided towards the direction of this project, because as a result of you following this intuition, you will finally find a material level of success that you have never experienced before. With King of Pentacles here, you'll finally find luxury, manifestation, success, authority, right? You seem to be in a position of power with King of Pentacles here. And clearly, you following this skill, also intuitively you understand that it will change your life upside down. The result of you following through with this project idea is going to absolutely change your life upside down. There's going to be a before and after, and this skill will pay off extremely well in terms of your material well-being with King of Pentacles here. However, once again, your ego seems to be kind of discrediting you going on this journey, and perhaps that has to deal with the fact that you are so young in your emotional energy. So it seems to me that the project that is calling your heart is actually the project that would honor your emotions. Perhaps it's something that you've never done before. Perhaps it's something that it's not in your realm of work. Something that for one reason or another is really confusing your mind and really telling all of your masculine qualities that no, that this is not for us, okay? We've never done this before. This is kind of weird that we would all of a sudden follow this intuitive call towards this project, but you are really asked to do that, and you will be doing that, because right now it's time for you, with 6 and 9 being here, it's time for you with Venus and Sagittarius, right, to expand. Sagittarius is an expansive energy, and it's expansion based on love, on following your heart, on hearing the call of your intuition, and entering the portal that it allows you to enter, right? Again, with moonbeams and focus here and void moon do nothing here, this tells me a story of you really being in a focus mode, you really working on your consciousness, you really working on your skill, on your hard work, you're really being in your masculine energy, grounded energy, right? You were focused before, but this is a full moon here. And the combination of the full moon and the new moon here tell me that you're done with the cycle of really being grounded in your masculine energy. And right now, you're actually asked to balance out your feminine energy with do nothing here. So 7 of Swords really tells me here that you have been putting in work in terms of working on your thought patterns. However, there's still this lingering of fear or of shadow there, where on one hand, because this is 7 of Swords, this is a spiritual energy, right? 7 is a spiritual enlightenment or movement towards your spiritual calling type of energy. But because it's Swords, it's a negative energy because it's anxious or uncomfortable for us to experience. So clearly, on one hand, you're already moving towards recognition of yourself as a magician. You're already moving towards honoring your heart and following through with this project. However, you're still kind of looking back and second guessing whether you should just go back and get the rest. You know what I mean? This card is usually represented as someone stealing swords, and actually the reason why they're stealing the swords is because they don't want the war to happen the following day. So they're doing something sneaky and technically immoral for a better cause. So basically what this is telling me is you think that perhaps you going back and you trying to return to your comfort zone will really allow you to stay safe. It will really allow you to prevent some sort of a war taking place, right? Because this is very much an energy of the devil here, of an illusion here that is confusing your energy. Caution and flirtation here, because we're moving from Mercury in Virgo to a Venus in Sagittarius. They're very different energies, and they're telling me that right now basically you're transitioning from this stage into this stage, from 6 to 9, right? You're wrapping up one cycle and moving into another cycle that is meant to be much more joyous and exciting and adventurous, because Sagittarius is obviously the most adventurous, the most honest and spiritual sign out there, and you are really called to embody that version of you. This is the voice of your higher self. Your higher self is telling you to move into a time of excitement, to follow your heart, and to not gaslight yourself in terms of the project that you're working on. What I'm going to tell you, pile number 1, is this energy of 7 of Swords, it will clear out the more that you pay attention to your thought patterns, the more that you quiet down your mind, the more in tune you will be with this magician energy of yours, and the more potent will this energy be through your work. So I just wanted to get 3 more cards as advice, and then we're gonna summarize your reading. Can we just get 3 cards of advice? We have 4 of Pentacles, We have 10 of Pentacles. Okay. Clearly, you are moving towards abundance, pile number one. And we have the Hermit. Okay, right. So pile number one, with 4 of Pentacles being followed by 10 of Pentacles, clearly there is a movement in your life from you holding on to what you've already built, from you holding on to the stability that you already believe is yours, that you're used to, from your comfort zone and into an overly abundant time. Because it's not just 9 of Pentacles, okay? It's 10 of Pentacles. That's overabundance, over explosion of wealth, right? And we also have the Hermit here, again 9. There's a very spiritual energy here related particularly to you manifesting abundance in your life. So I don't know whether maybe you have been struggling particularly with abundance in your life, but clearly pile number one, your ego is a bit more confused than your higher self. So I'm not seeing that, you're really lingering in your victim mentality. I'm not seeing that your ego is so unbalanced where you can't really see the situation clearly. What I'm seeing is you are aware from the perspective of your intellect that you are powerful. You are aware of your possibilities. However, because you are emotionally dysregulated, maybe your body has been conditioned to be in, fear constantly. Maybe you are honestly already holding certain traumas and belief systems within your body, because that can happen to us, because if we don't process emotions well, they get stored where? In our body. And that is the reason why you're experiencing the 7 of Swords, sneaky energy that is telling you to kind of gaslight yourself and walk back to your comfort zone, because you're so unfamiliar with regulating yourself emotionally, with prioritizing your well-being, with prioritizing your happiness. All right, pile number one, let's just walk through how to identify which voice comes from your higher self and which comes from your ego. So your ego is almost in perfect balance with your higher self, and I think in the next cycle of your life, finally, these two will be in balance and you will no longer have to deal with this shadow energy. However, right now, you are dealing with the shadow energy, and your ego or your mind, in a one way or another, is asking you to listen in to fear, to lean into fear, and to stay in your comfort zone, to not respond to this spiritual call here with 7 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, Hanged One, and King of Pentacles. I think that it's likely that whatever the project that is calling your heart, you think that this is going to take a long time for you to work on it, and perhaps it will take some time. However, this is absolutely a spiritual energy. You were meant to hear the call, you were meant to follow through with it, and you were meant to shift your perspective upside down once you follow this call, because you were really ready to step into abundance, and intuitively you recognize that you are done with living your life in the masculine, and you're ready to experience an easier time with this Venus and Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius is all about adventure, fun, spirituality. It's about the higher frequencies of our experience, right? And clearly, your intuition is guiding you towards the experience of this upside down shift, of you walking into this King of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles, financial abundance. So please, pile number one, understand that your ego is not used to prioritizing its emotions. Perhaps you're telling yourself things like, well, what's the point of doing that? Or you feel guilty. It could be just on a level of your physical body, like you are so used to living your life for other people that it's really hard for you to just do things because they make you happy. Maybe you're the kind of person who likes to do things because they're useful or because you see the result of them in the future. Very much Virgo energy. You just want to do useful things, things that will bring physical realm result. But whatever it is, this project that's calling you, it requires you to also prioritize your heart and tell yourself, hey, I'm doing this because I want to, because it's gonna make me happy, because I care about it. And there's no other reason that you need to do that. You don't need any other reason, pile number one. I mean, clearly, you are in the process of learning how to receive, how to honor your emotional truth. And once you really honor your emotional truth through this process, obviously it's not going to be overnight. It seems to me that you will step into this project, and perhaps this energy of Seven of Swords will linger for a little bit, just because it's natural, for us to experience fear when we transition into a totally new reality. Pile number one, it's likely that you are really used to relying on yourself and your own skills and abilities. You're not really used to following your heart. You're just used to making a plan, doing it, and achieving it. And that's perhaps what your ego is telling you. Well, good news is you're done with that cycle, and you're actually asked by your higher self to follow your intuition, to follow your heart, and to stop gaslighting this young energy within you, okay? It's not its fault. It is come to the surface to let you know that you need to be moving in this direction, and there need to be some shifts that need to happen within your consciousness before you do so. So yeah, pile number one. I think this is all that I'm seeing here. As I said, the voice of your ego is very, very pragmatic, very intellectual, very much someone who is confident in their ability, but maybe someone who is not confident in the universe or other people, right? And the voice of your higher self is much different. The voice of your higher self tells you that if you really follow through with this intuitive hit, with this heart, you will find abundance and a totally new life on the other hand of it. So I hope this helps. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, please subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey everyone, if you selected pile number 2 or Moon Magic Transformation, this is going to be your reading about your ego versus your higher self and how to identify your thought patterns and where they come from. So transformation right away gives me a feeling of the High Priestess here because of the polarity. Because in the traditional High Priestess card, obviously we have the pillars because she is the intermediary between our world and the spirit. We also got Moonstone, slow it down. Slow it down. All right. We have Mars in Aquarius with Rebellion, 11. So you're asked to see the situation from a different perspective. It seems like maybe your ego is really causing you some harm right now. And I'm saying this because this person is using a sword, which is a symbol of air or truth, right? And it's cutting through, basically is pushing through these two heads. And I think there is truly a separation between you. Maybe you're truly struggling between understanding the voice of your intuition in your mind. All right, and we also have Venus in Libra with indecision. Okay, yeah. Again, we have a very, very spiritual theme to this pile number 2, because we have number 11 and number 7. Both number 11 is a master number of an enlightened healer. Number 7 is a number of spirituality or spirit, right? So there's this duality. Here there's 2, and there's 2 figures here. Indecision. Okay. So we have Scout of Water. And we have Student of Fire. I remember that when I was shuffling the cards, the first group actually got the other 2 elements, so earth and air, and you got water and fire. So very interesting. And let's get into your tarot cards. We have 3 of Wands, making plans for the future. Okay. your ego. The Lovers. And finally, Two of Coins. We also got Six of Coins, the Moon, and finally we have King of Coins. Wonderful. Let me just think for a second. All right, pile number 2. This is very, very spiritual energy, so let's get into it. If this pile is for you, then it's very evident to me that you feel a dichotomy to your energy. On one hand, with Mars in Aquarius, with rebellion, you feel a pull towards something that is calling your heart, your intuition, something that requires you to be the unique you that you are, because Aquarius is all about individualism, all about expression of worldviews that are unique to who we are as opposed to social standards. So there's this pull towards action, but on the other hand, there is this energy of indecision with Venus in Libra here, where you feel like you can't proceed until you have clarity about the situation, because this is very much Libra, is an air energy, right? It's often, in my opinion, it's a difficult sign to have. Don't come for me, okay? I'm a Libra sun. I think it's a difficult sign to have because you see so many different perspectives on the situation that I think sometimes it can be very difficult to determine which one is actually true and useful and applicable in your case. So there is this energy of like you wanting to move for something, but there's at the same time a paralysis to make a decision to move forward in something. Now let's look at these oracle cards with Moonstone, Slow It Down, Moon Magic Transformation, Scout of Water, and Student of Fire. It is clear to me that you have gone through a spiritual transformation, right? It seems to me that recently you have really been addressing things from within. You have been really changing, upgrading your energy. Maybe you are doing shadow work, whatever it is you're doing, meditation, whatever your approach is to your own personal spiritual experience, it is working, right? And the reason why I say that you have gone through a massive spiritual transformation is not just because of transformation card here, right? But because of Scout of Water and Student of Fire. Both of these energies are very related to spirit, right? Because fire is intrinsically a spirit energy, and then water is an energy of intuition, of the divine feminine. So it seems to me that you have been working on balancing out the divine masculine and the divine feminine in your journey. Again, there's a similar theme to pile number 1, where it seems to me that there is a dissonance between your intellect and how you're used to live your life and what you're asked to do moving forward. Because it seems to me that you are a very intellectual person, with Aquarius being here, with Slow It Down being here. You seem to be really a master of the masculine realm, so fire and air. But right now, the transformation has to deal with your emotional well-being. You're finally clearing out emotional traumas that have been stored in you for an extended period of time, and you are moving forward into a new page spiritually. Now, this first row of cards here shows us how your ego is perceiving the situation. And Three of Wands climbing towards Lovers here, it seems to me that you are really trying to figure out how to get your desire. There's something that is in your heart, something calling you, and you're really yearning to merge with that desire in the Lovers here. So obviously this could be a person, this could be some sort of a goal of yours, but you seem to be thinking from the perspective of your ego that you need to really plan out how to finally get your desire. You seem to be really taking a practical approach to your goal or your dream here. Once again, with the lovers representing your dream or your goal or something that you want, it is clear to me that this is something very consistent to who you are. So you're not really wanting something that is not consistent to who you are. It's not that your desire is intrinsically coming from your ego, but rather you are, from the perspective of your ego, realizing that you need to merge with your destiny, right? You really need to step into that desire, unite with that desire, unite with that life. However, because your ego is limited by fear, you really feel like you need to plan it out. You really feel like you need to execute a masculine type of planning or orchestration of your work in this Three of Wands. You're really trying to figure out every step to your desire. And the reason for that might be is because you have responsibilities outside of that desire, right? Maybe you have children here. Two of Coins generally is a card that presents a need for balance in life, right? This also makes me feel like you're carrying some responsibilities in your life that you just need to address. So because of these responsibilities, your ego is convinced that you need to first plan out how to get to your goal and then start moving towards the goal. However, there is this indecision in regards to whether you should be even moving towards your goal. And let me just tell you, pile number 2, you should be. Whatever it is that's calling you, even though it's from the perspective of the ego, is the Lover's card, it is still the Lover's card, right? The Lover's card is a major arcana card that talks about making a choice that is authentic to who we are. So for instance, this can be very much like a Romeo and Juliet example here. So let's say Juliet's family is like, no, you can't be with Romeo, and that's what's socially acceptable, right? But Juliet wants to be with Romeo, and although it's a very hard decision for her to make because she knows she's betraying her family, because she knows there's a lot of conflict, I mean, there's a lot going on, right, in Romeo and Juliet, she still makes that choice to be with her loved one. That's basically what the Lover's card is about. It's about making a choice, regardless whether it has to do with romance or not, but that is true to who you are, despite this choice being difficult. So you are moving towards that intellectually, but it seems to me that you are kind of burdened by responsibilities. Maybe there's a lack of balance in your life, like you're feeling like, you know, if I start pursuing this, how will I really keep up with all of the rest of my responsibilities here? But what I want to tell you, pile number 2, is from the second row of cards here that represents your higher selves perception of the situation, is you are on the precipice of basically receiving divine grace. Six of Coins is an energy that has little to do with what you are doing consciously or subconsciously. It's just basically good karma coming back to you through the divine. So it can be orchestrated by, you know, a particularly positive period where people are just giving you gifts, just giving you abundance. The universe is ready to give to you, and you are sensing it. You are really, really sensing it. Your higher self is trying to guide you towards your destiny, towards union with this Lover card here. From the perspective of your higher self, you are ready to receive, and you might be intuitively aware of this positive energy moving towards you. You're literally ready to walk into an energy that is giving to you. However, I'm seeing that right now there might be fear about it. Maybe you're second guessing yourself. It's already on the level of your higher self, and the reason why it showed up here, in my opinion, my belief, the way that I'm interpreting it here, is that you're in the moon stage of manifesting your desire, right? With King of Coins being, in the end, you are meant, pile number 2, you're meant to really be in abundance in your ideal reality in terms of how materially successful you are, and you're moving towards that position of authority and abundance with King of Coins here. However, right now in your spiritual journey, you might be experiencing some fear with the moon here because you do not see ahead. Now, the reason why I say that is because the Fool goes through the major arcana, right? He sheds all of the layers of identity that don't belong to him during death, during Tower, and obviously he learns more lessons and moves forward, continues to move forward, and then he moves into the Star card, which is them making an authentic wish. You made a wish, you know what you want, you have made it clear what you want to manifest in your reality. And then we have the moon and the sun, right? Because the star inevitably is followed by fear, the moon. And before you can transition into the sun card, or you finally living in a reality of your conscious creation that you're proud of, that you feel aligned with, you need to move through this fear. This fear is absolutely okay for you to experience. There's a reason why the moon card is following the star card, right? Pile number 2, I know that right now you might be feeling this push towards action and doing something, but before you do, it's really important that you approach your situation from a different perspective with Mars in Aquarius here, and him differentiating, really understanding the situation from a different perspective. In order for you to be able to transition through this moon phase or fear phase smoothly, you really need to slow down. So I know that sometimes when we experience a lot of anxious energy, right, it really moves us towards action because we're like, okay, like I'm really anxious, I need to do something about it, I have to do something about it. But when you come from a place of anxiety, it's not what you do, but how you actually do it, right? And when you come from an energy of anxiety, even if you are working on building something that is worth all of your time and something that is truly divinely orchestrated for you to receive, that energy is constantly being blocked by your own fears. So you're really asked to not rush into action right now, but slow down, use all of your meditative practices or spiritual practices. Settle down your body, really try to reconnect with your body, ground your energy so you can experience this fear but be able to move past it. Right now, this fear, pile number 2, is not meant to discourage you from moving forward. It is actually a natural part of the process of making a true wish for the first time and truly moving towards your destiny. But because obviously you and your mind are filtered by the experiences of your past, it is a fearful situation because it requires you to be comfortable in the unknown, and our ego is never comfortable of the unknown. Your ego really wants to see every step along the way, but right now the energy is spiritual and you are asked to slow down, regulate your emotions, regulate your body here, bring your body into balance. Really try to just make yourself happy one day. Focus all of your energy on just doing what makes you happy, because you will see, pile number 2, that in the end of that day, your approach to the situation will already be cracking. You will be finding holes in your ego's perspective, and you will be able to truly feel how this moon cycle is ending and how you're ready to receive the abundance that you're meant to receive, and how you're ready to transition into the sun card here. So pile number 2, your biggest advice here is to slow down, really allow yourself to regulate your emotions, and once again, try to think about the situation from the perspective that you haven't asked before. It's not what you do, right? It's how you do it. So it's important that you are able to channel that divine love, that divine inspiration, that positive experience into what you do. Pile number 2, because in the end of the day, you don't just want to merge with your desire, right? You don't just want to be rich, you want to be happy, right? In the end of the day, why do we want all of the resources? Why do we dream of certain things, right? It's because we think they're going to make us happy. And if you prohibit yourself from experiencing any positive emotions before you reach that final destination, then what is your life about, right? Are you always gonna wait until things are perfect? Life is meant to teach you that you can emotionally regulate and you can enjoy the journey, because the journey is also a beautiful part of your experience here. You didn't just come to earth, you didn't just incarnate to be ambitious and accomplished and successful. You came to experience life. So really allow yourself to experience it and stop discrediting your emotions, okay? Because yes, sure, you can move into action, but it's important how you're moving into action. It's more important that you slow down and really regulate yourself and start moving slowly here, as opposed to you just kind of deciding, let's go for it. Masculine type of energy, okay? Right now, you're not required to be in the part of the movie where you're pushing. You're required to be in the part of the movie where you are enjoying, allowing yourself to enjoy and to regulate, and you are meant to move towards your desire with grace, with excitement here. Now, I will tell you right away, pile number 2, I think you think that your journey is going to be long and you need to plan it out and you don't see how you're going to get your desire. Maybe it's impossible to other people, but what is happening here is you're gonna go on this journey and you're gonna see every step of this journey divine confirming to you with extra gifts and perks that you are on the right path. And that's precisely how you will finally move out of this moon cycle that is keeping you stagnant or in a decision paralysis and towards your destiny here with King of Coins. So yeah, pile number 2, I think this is all that I see here. Thank you so much for doing this reading with me. Congratulations on moving towards merging with your desire. Hold on tight, because the moon period is always difficult, right? Because all of our old fears are resurfacing and we're like, well, should I go back to who I was or should I be new again? But yeah, pile number 2, this is all that I see here. Thank you so much for doing this reading with me. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, please subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hi everyone, if you selected pile number 3 or this domicile moon abundance card, this is going to be your reading all about the difference between your higher self's perspective and your ego's perspective and how to differentiate between the two. So we have abundance, wonderful. We have moon shining, stay in integrity. So definitely right away a message of you receiving some unexpected upgrade to your material well-being. And it seems to me that that could be a trigger for the shadow, right? Anytime we upgrade materially, I feel like this could be a trigger for our shadow, but let's see. We have Mercury in Gemini with excitement. Mercury is at home in Gemini, so that's very exciting. And we have Sun in Sagittarius with enthusiasm. Oh yeah, 3 and 9 again. These were the numbers of the same deck in another pile. Interesting. We have 4 of Wands with the keyword nourish, because bees pollinate the flowers. And finally, we have source of air. Maybe you're manifesting something. Okay, I should probably wait until the end. So let's look at the difference between your higher self and your ego and how to identify what thoughts come from where. Can we look at pile number 3's ego, please? The Hanged Man. We have Daughter of Pentacles, and we have Mother of Pentacles. Okay, wow. This is your ego, and let's look at your higher self. Can we get that number? Eight of Pentacles. We have Father of Swords. And finally, we have Six of Pentacles. All right, pile number 3. This honestly might be a shorter message than for the other groups just because it's so very clear here. Let's start with Daughter of Pentacles, Mother of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles here, as well as abundance, excitement, and enthusiasm. There is so much in your cards that is signifying that you are moving into a much more prosperous time in your life, and that's very exciting. That's very obviously positive energy of enthusiasm, right? You will be feeling like you are adventuring, like you are really reconnecting with your child self. It seems like it's giving you freedom and excitement to receive this abundance, to the point where actually you are asked to stay in integrity once you receive this abundance, because it seems to me that you're about to completely transform your material realm, and to the point where it might trigger your shadow, okay? It might trigger your shadow to receive this much of material prosperity coming your way. Now let's identify the difference between your egos and your higher self's perspective on the situation. So the first row of cards here represents your ego's perspective, and the second row here represents your higher self's perspective. Your ego clearly does not feel very comfortable or very content in the situation where you are at right now. It seems to me particularly we're dealing with your career or finances or your work. Obviously take it as it resonates, but considering Daughter of Pentacles, Mother of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and Six of Pentacles are all here, this has to deal in one way or another with the way that you provide material security for yourself. So now let's move through your ego's perspective here. So it seems to me that there is some sort of a stagnation or blockage in your current situation. There is some sort of slowing down that allows you to really turn your perspective on the situation upside down, and that's why this issue, this challenge, or this slowing down period is occurring. Obviously, being in the Hanged Man area or stage in your life is very, very uncomfortable because it requires us to slow down and turn our perspective upside down. But again, the Hanged Man is a very, very spiritual card, right? It's a very spiritually orchestrated energy. And with this row signifying your ego's perspective on the situation, what I can tell you is your ego right now is way too focused on the material realm. You might be feeling like you are stuck within your career field and you are really, really looking for progression. You're looking to basically move from this area of stagnation into receiving some material results and then continuously growing yourself with Mother of Pentacles here. So it seems to me that your ego is really, really focused on how to proceed within the material realm. It seems to be really, really focused on money in general, because it seems to me that you're really preoccupied with your ego on moving from this Daughter of Pentacles into Mother of Pentacles, or continuously growing in your position at your work or your career. You're really, really preoccupied with how to move forward with abundance, right? Perhaps you're looking to upgrade your lifestyle. You're really looking to live this abundant lifestyle, but you feel like there's blockages. You might even feel like this is going to take a very, very long time for you to finally be where you want to be, for you to receive the abundance that you deserve, with Mother of Pentacles being here. Perhaps that's because you're not really cognizant of the fact that abundance is already on the way to you. Now let's look at your higher self's perspective on the situation. So your higher self is actually also concerned with the material realm, but let me tell you the difference between the two. Your higher self is presented here as the Father of Swords, or someone who is very, very intelligent, very smart, someone who is very witty. You know what I mean? You know what your truth is, you know what the truth is. Your intellect is very, very powerful, and quite honestly, it seems like your higher self is really yearning for your intellect to be recognized within your work sphere. And I say that because we have Eight of Pentacles, right, is the card of working on your craft, the card of really putting an effort into something that we believe to be our skill. And then finally, you have your skill paying off here with Six of Pentacles here. So it seems to me that the message is a little bit different from the other groups. What your message is listen to the thoughts that are truly encouraging you to honor yourself as this person in the position of power through their intellect. Basically, pile number 3, I'm seeing that you're ready to be paid for sharing your truth, for, really being this intellectual kind of figure of authority, a figure of power, and you are ready to receive the abundance by sharing your intellect. Alright, so obviously situations are different for all of you, but let me give you an example. This definitely gives me two different feelings career-wise. So the first row could represent someone who is in a very good career, in a very good place in terms of, finances. You're getting paid a lot, or you're getting paid enough, and there is this resistance to moving forward from this opportunity because you see the potential to progress in it. You basically see that this particular opportunity where you're at now can move you from Daughter of Pentacles into Mother of Pentacles. It has the potential to really move you to the next stage in your finances. However, with this second row representing your higher self here, it seems to be that internally, or your higher self or your soul is really, really yearning to be recognized for your brilliance, for your intellect, for your truth, and for the skill that is related to your truth. So it seems to me that maybe within your realm right now, you don't feel like your truth is recognized. You don't feel like your intellect is being utilized much. Maybe you feel like you need much more intellectual stimulation to truly be satisfied with your position here. And there's something else that is calling you, and let me just tell you that you are ready to be paid for the skill that is related to your consciousness, to your intellect. You are ready to be paid for your skill of your knowledge, for your truth. You are presented as someone who is very, very intellectually capable, and someone who is ready to basically get paid for the product of your old labor. So this could be a project that you have worked on extensively back in the day, maybe put it on a back burner. Maybe it's a totally new career field that is calling you and you're waiting on an opportunity for. But regardless, something is happening in your life where you're getting paid for something that is true to who you are. So basically, you are finding a different version of your success here. You're figuring out with the Hanged Man here, with a change in your perspective here, that you don't have to be focused on the material realm to be abundant. You can actually focus on your own skills, on your own desires, and still provide that abundance for yourself. In fact, the abundance is not something that we should be chasing, but rather a result of us being in our element, right? With Four of Wands being here and it having the keyword nourish, and with Source of Air being here, it seems to me that you're really yearning to be nourishing your intellect more. And that's why, again, I'm saying that there's something in your field now or in your situation now that you're recognizing as it doesn't fit. Like perhaps you have kind of come to a place of a pause in your life where you're like, okay, do I just continue moving forward within this field because I can clearly see my steps ahead and I can clearly see growth? Or do I really want to consider moving forward in a different way because I don't feel intellectually motivated, stimulated, and like I'm being paid for who I truly am? And this is an intellectually aware, enlightened individual with Father of Swords here. Let me tell you, pile number 3, I'm not really seeing how precisely the situation will occur here, but you are moving towards you receiving pay for your intellectual work. Excitement, enthusiasm, abundance here. Everything is signifying to me that you're ready to kind of get the fruit of your labor, and it's coming towards you regardless, because this is a spiritual energy. This is your higher self's energy. You are moving towards that. However, pile number 3, I want to tell you that your ego is really, really resistant to let go of the material security, perhaps, that you have already built. There's this resistance to change here with the Hanged Man here. The Hanged Man is an uncomfortable card because it's meant to push you towards the unknown, which is uncomfortable as well, right? So pile number 3, let me just try to make the message more clear. You are on the precipice of receiving some abundance. Now, it is coming to you as a result of your skill. You're getting paid maybe for an old project or something, or maybe you're just being offered an opportunity to be in a position of power and to really, really, build your stability from your place of truth here. But this energy is coming towards you regardless. So right now, it's important for you to differentiate between the thoughts of your ego and your higher self. Your ego really values the material realm stability. And quite honestly, this is your biggest kind of challenge right now that you're moving through energetically, is how much you rely on external stability, right? You feel in one way or another, pile number 3, that you are dissatisfied in your life here with the Hanged Man. Like there's stagnation, maybe there are some challenges or blockages, but because you are already kind of set in stone, maybe in your career, maybe you already have a job, maybe you already have a way that you provide for yourself, it feels like you can't really leave, like you are stuck there. Like this is kind of the progression of your life forever. So please understand that whenever you're thinking the thoughts of, all right, I'll just have to settle here. I guess I'm stuck here. I guess I have to be here to provide financial stability for myself. This is a narrative of your ego. It's a limiting belief. You don't actually have to stay put for you to receive abundance. Abundance is coming towards you in a variety of different ways, right? Abundance doesn't just have to mean a job. You can receive abundance in so many different ways. Some people don't work, some people don't work literally. and someone else provides for them for different reasons. Like obviously some people require it, other people don't, and they still don't work. There's so many different situations in which this abundance can come towards you. So please allow yourself to entertain the scenarios of you receiving abundance in the way that you deserve it, for the skill that is valuable for you, for the brilliance and knowledge that you have, and you will be respected and honored for. Recognize that you can truly live this life and you are not at all stuck within the material realm or a position that you have already created. Regardless, pile number 3, you're receiving this abundance energy moving your way, because everything in your reading signifies that you are moving into a more exciting time of your life. Just please be careful. Your message did come with a warning that you will have a lot of abundance, but perhaps because you put so much emphasis on abundance, it's really important that you truly remind yourself where your values lay, right? You're not just here to be rich and financially successful. You're here to experience a beautiful life full of excitement, enthusiasm, and love, and life full of, honoring who you truly are, as opposed to just building in the material realm and just being successful. That is not something that brings peace to your soul. You're here because of so many other reasons, and experience of life does not just end on you gaining wealth. Okay, so please really recognize here, because you're receiving a lot of abundance, really stay in integrity here. Remind yourself of what is important. What are your values? What do you value really? Do you value just pure cash? I doubt it, right? I'm sure you value financial freedom and stability, especially if you can get it based on doing what you want, based on doing things that you're naturally good at, right? But there's clearly a message of just affirming to yourself that physical world or material realm is not where it ends. There needs to be a shift in perspective about your values and what you believe to be of utmost importance to your happiness. Because I'm telling you, it's not money. You're getting money. It's important that you connect with the other sides of you, like this intelligent side, right? Nourish your intellect with the bee looking directly at source of air. So yeah, pile number 3, I think this is all that I see here. Thank you so much for doing this reading with me. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, please subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.